will call to order our regularly scheduled city council meeting for the city of Mauldin on Monday, August the 17th, 2026, approximately 7-ish PM. I'll let the records reflect. The members are present and accounted for, along with myself, the mayor, and our legal counsel, Mr. Hughes. Also, our city administrator, Mr. Duncan, our city clerk, Ms. Miller, our assistant city administrator, Mr. Greg Saxon, and various department heads. So I won't give them any thunder by introducing them. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. Along with some of our public and guests, we thank you for being here also. Next item on our agenda is our invocation and our pledge of allegiance. Ms. King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Those who wish to join us in prayer, please bow at this time. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather tonight, we give thanks to you and praise to you and thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon us. Please grant us wisdom and understanding as we discuss the topics ahead of us this evening. I pray that all things that we do will be pleasing in your eyes. In your name I pray, amen. Please join me for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Ms. King. Next item up is our proclamations and presentations. They're all special, but one is extremely special. He's early in his career, so I will defer to Ms. King, Chair of our Public Sector.
Good evening. This is, as the mayor says, always a special time when we have recognition, and when it's our young folks, that makes it even more special. So if you guys want to come up, we're going to recognize our police explorers and the leadership that we have with the explorers. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Sefcik, who is one of our officers who leads this group and has for several years now, and she's going to tell you about their accomplishments.
Okay, so recently the Mauldin Police Explorers traveled to Palm Beach County, Florida to participate in the prestigious Code Blue Explorer competition. This was a highly selective event requiring our explorers to undergo a rigorous tryout process just to earn an opportunity to compete. So please join me in welcoming the newly promoted explorer, Sergeant Carollos. And we are also represented by Cheyenne, Tristan, and Eli, who unfortunately could not be here with us tonight. And then I'd also like to recognize our advisors, Misty Ross and Daniel Baker. Over the course of 4 days, our explorers engaged in various rigorous police-based scenarios, competing against more than 40 teams from federal, state, and local agencies across the country. I am proud to announce that our team placed first in both domestic violence and force-on-force categories. Additionally, one of our explorers received a personal recognition award for inspecting the most cones. Beyond these accolades, the trip provided these young individuals with a transformative experience. For many, this was their first time traveling out of state, visiting Florida, or even seeing the ocean. They had the invaluable opportunity to immerse themselves in a different culture, network with various law enforcement agencies, and forge lasting friendships. Ultimately, this trip was more than just a competition. It was the creation of a lifetime of memories. And so to conclude, we do have a short highlight video showcasing their journey.
This is Ms. Ann Uller, South Carolina Forestry Commission. I apologize if I butchered the name.
It's Hyler like by and Guy. But as long as you're looking at me and saying my name, I am good. Now, I cannot compete. Mine is going to be about grants and Tree City USA, but you guys did great. It was wonderful. I'm the work for the South Carolina Forestry Commission. I know this thing's about as big as me. As their new urban forestry specialist for the Piedmont region. I've just come from the PD, working out of Florence. So you guys don't know me. I cold call, startle people behind the desks, and introduce myself at city council meetings. So I do urban work. Help cities manage their city trees as part of an additional part of their infrastructure to provide benefits for citizens. And trees actually do that. So we in the Forestry Commission, whether it's wild land or urban land, we expect trees to do work. Benefits outweigh the costs, regardless of that. So what we do, and I handed you a whole bunch of papers, this is a flyer of our 2025 grants that we offer. Most every year, we offer grants to cities to help them manage their city trees. All of our grant money comes from the U.S. Forest Service. So when they have big budgets, we have big grants. When they have tiny budgets, we have little to no grants. So we get a different amount every year. So I do not want to say that we will offer all of these. So when you guys look at it and think you maybe want it, I can't make any promises on that. There will be a webinar in October on the grants we can offer. If there's anybody here who wants to be on the webinar and listen in, you've got my contact information, send me your email. I'll get you on the list. It'll just be emailed, you'll register and just watch the webinar for that. So what I did want to go through on the back, just to give an example of what we can offer, 4 of these grants were entirely free to a city. The monies would go to a nonprofit agency called the Green Infrastructure Center that works with us to implement these grants. South Carolina is full of small cities, and most of these small cities cannot implement the grants on their own. The nonprofit does the work and they just hand you guys the results. That's it, right there. You don't have to pony up personnel or a penny. So 4 of the grants that are free, and they're usually free, is the first one, the tree canopy cover map, which is exactly that. It'll give you a map of your tree canopy cover and the percent coverage of your trees of the entire city. 37%, 43%, 52%. It gives you plantable areas, and it gives you software for you to determine the cost of maintaining the percent canopy coverage you have. Covering the removals, how much you would need to plant, whether it's private planting or public. This does both, private and public property on that. And it gives you additional maps, heat indexes, income and heat indexes, watersheds, best places to pull stormwater out of the ground. It gives you all of that, and it's free. You get to keep everything. The second one is the ecosystems benefits modeling, which just gives you the numbers. How much stormwater was pulled out of the ground? How much pollution particulates were pulled out of the air? How much electricity savings when you've got shade on the east and west sides of buildings? For that, you sit in front of a computer, talk to GIC for 1 hour and 1 month, and you're done. That's it. Right. It's the second one. The third one is the tree codes audit, which is just your ordinances. You guys have some really nice tree ordinances. If you want to tweak them a bit to protect the public trees, protect the trees being developed, you send GIC your ordinances and they will talk to you through the computer. You're not getting New York City ordinances. This will be a discussion of what the city of Mauldin can do. Everybody has tree ordinances, most everybody, and it's very fine-tuned to what you want on this, on that. So, and the fourth one was actually a new one, the tree planting plan. So if you are planting in a park, at schools, the library, any public space along streets, they can give you a tree planting plan. Spacing, tree species, all of that. It's not surveyor grade, but it's a tree planting plan. Those were free last year. So that is what we can offer. The rest of them, including the tree inventory, is an 80-20. The city of Mauldin does the work. We will reimburse you 80% of the project costs on that. Again, I don't know what we can offer. I will find out, sort of like you guys in October. This is above my head. Forest Service gives the money to my bosses. They divvy it up and decide what grants to do on that. So that is that. Anybody that I've got an email from Mauldin will be on the webinar. Okay. And before I go, one thing we do also at the Forestry Commission for cities is to assist cities in becoming a Tree City USA. Have you heard that designation? Arbor Day Foundation program half a century ago. Arbor Day Foundation is not us. They are a nationwide, global-wide nonprofit. We just assist them because we are here speaking with city administrators all the time, right? And I want to say, you guys, I think you're already doing the work. You're not getting recognized for it. You already have tree ordinances, which is your first standard you need to be a Tree City USA. I've checked. You've got them for public trees. You've got them for development. You've got tree ordinances. That's 1 out of 4. In your ordinances, you have a tree board. That's number 2, though I also think you have a public works department that also takes care of trees. So you would have both. You need either a tree board or some department that takes care of trees. All Arbor Day wants is that people are there to take care of trees. Doesn't matter. Tree board, public works department. So you've already got that. The third is you spend $2 per capita on trees, and that is, oh, that's the official proclamation. This one. This tells you every expense you can put forward to the $2 per capita. If you guys have a cherry picker, picks up limbs, you're already there. That's expensive to maintain, expensive to run, salaries for the people running it, wear on the equipment, you're done. Anytime you buy a chainsaw, protective personal equipment, training, any crew that goes out to pick up limbs, rake leaves, pick up leaves, you're done on that. It is very, very easy to go over $2 per capita, especially for a city this size, right? That's 3. You're already spending it. You just need what, about $50,000 per year on anything related to trees. You probably covered that in half a year. The fourth thing is that Mayor Merritt will declare a day to be Arbor Day. It's the last on this. You can declare any day to be Arbor Day, and it can change year by year. South Carolina's is the first Friday in December, which I think is December 3rd or 4th. Nationwide, it's the 3rd Friday in April, which is right near Earth Day. There's a little town of Briarcliff Acres. Anybody hear this on the coast? town of about 500. It actually is squoze right next to Myrtle Beach, and they became a town because they didn't want to be Myrtle Beach. All it is residential homes and a town hall. There's no development at all. They celebrate on the third Saturday, usually after Earth Day. So you have an Arbor Day celebration. You would sign this, Mayor Merritt, declare a day, have an Arbor Day celebration. It can be as simple as what the little town of Patrick. Does anybody know the little town of Patrick? I'm speaking from PD. The little town of Patrick in the middle of pine trees, about 270 people. You guys are a little bit larger than that. I'm going to throw some shade here because Mayor Rosalie Privet has been holding them at 18 years of Tree City, USA. And for Arbor Day Foundation, they go to a little playground right next to the railroad tracks, in my mind, too close to the railroad tracks. They could hitch a ride, the kids. They have, the mayor reads out the proclamation. The manager of the city cemetery reads out the names of the people who passed that year. They plant a dogwood and they're done. 6 people show up, which is pretty big for a town of 270. But, and that's their Arbor Day celebration. You guys can clearly go well above that. I know you have an active garden club here, right? Andrew, if you have a tree board, they could design an Arbor Day celebration for you too. So you would just need a picture of your media event, and that's it. And it's normally people standing behind a tree. So this is proclamation, picture of people standing behind a tree, and that's your Arbor Day celebration. So you guys can clearly, obviously, you guys can do this. You're just not getting recognized for it. And I have emailed to try and sort of nudge. I don't know, it was Mr. Duncan or Mr. Saxton, Gregory Saxton. I may have emailed you. I can email again or meet with you in any of this. Yes, I know. I think somebody's been thrown under the bus. So anytime, and we can just talk this. It's just document gathering at this point. You guys have done the work. It's just compiling. Applying for this is between September and the end of December. And you're done. On that. And you guys can do it. It's just finding the person with time in front of a computer. So grants in October. Online application will be in November. And before, I'm just going back and I will talk to whoever may be applying for this. The application is simply a list of the grants that we offer and whether you've had them or not. If you haven't had any, you just dink no on everything till you get to the end and say what you want and why you want it. You always need a project at the end for any grant you apply for, right? Everybody knows that. Okay, all right. I will quit while I'm ahead, hopefully ahead. But yeah, I will find you. I've got your email and we can talk. Yes, you can change your email if you want, but no. Okay, all right. Thank you for letting me speak. And one last thing, I am a certified arborist, tree risk assessment qualified. I do offer my services to cities who do not have arborists, urban foresters. I can do basic tree inspections for public trees, not private, but for public. I just came from Liberty, the little town of Liberty. I inspected 2 trees and did a write-up on it. So that comes free. So it's just most cities are small. They don't have an arborist or an urban forester. So I can step in for some of that. And I'm good. There's no skin in the game. I'm just the state employee. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for letting me.
Tyler, anyone got any questions?
I just
I think you answered everything sufficiently or overwhelmingly.
Again, if you want to be on the email.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The- There. of the many great and fun things to do in the city of Mauldin. One of them is my pleasure to do proclamations that people and recognize people and companies that contribute to our city and making our city the greatest place to live, work, play, dine. Did I miss anything, Taff? Shop. Okay, we're getting there. Bank. Good catch. Yeah, I missed that one. My banker's not with me. She's home, so that's why I missed that. Okay. The MTC Federal Credit Union. Whereas MTC Federal Credit Union, headquartered in Mauldin, South Carolina, has proudly served its members and community for 50 years. And whereas since its founding, MTC Federal Credit Union has remained dedicated to improving the financial well-being of individuals and families while fostering trust and integrity. And whereas MTC Federal Credit Union helped to strengthen communities through volunteerism, charitable giving, and the work of the MTC Federal Foundation. And whereas MTC Federal Credit Union launched its 50K for 50 years campaign, supporting partners that make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. And whereas this 50th anniversary marks the conclusion of the distinguished tenure of Chief Executive Officer Bill Love and the beginning of the leadership of Kimberly Witt, who will lead the credit union into the future. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we hereby congratulate MTC Federal Credit Union on the celebration of its 50th anniversary and offer best wishes to outgoing CEO Bill Love and new CEO Kimberly Witt. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and cause this proclamation to be issued this 18th. Is today the 18th? 17th. Got it. 17th day of 2026. Terry Merritt, Mayor. Is Kimberly here? Thought I was looking at you. I know Sonia. Met her a few times.
Doesn't know Sonya.
Yeah. But thank you for everything. If you'd like to say a few words. Oh, you want to take a picture?
That was beautifully written. Thank you.
Thank you. Say a few words.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here tonight with you all. We are celebrating our 50th year. I am the new CEO. I've worked for Bill Love, who retired earlier this year for 21 of his 25 years. And we are so proud to headquarters here in Mauldin. I've been a resident of Mauldin myself since 1995, and I just love all of the growth that's happened in this community. Our credit union serves the senior citizens groups, was it Senior Action, teaching them about scams and frauds that happen to our elderly, unfortunately. Sonia works very closely with the Mauldin Chamber. We work very closely with a lot of the associations and partners, community partners, most notably the new one, Triumph, and supporting them as well as the YMCA here in Mauldin. So we've worked with the high schools to teach budgeting and educating our high school students on how to the reality of life, if you will, of how to manage their funds. It's what we do at MTC Federal. We are about educating our members to learn how to manage their finances so that they ultimately, I promise you will say this, they will ultimately pay us less.
Good job. Thank you so much. I work very closely with Seth. I know Taff, Carol, all of you guys, you're amazing. We love Mauldin. I love all these guys out here too, the fire department, the police department. I can't say enough good things about Mauldin. I truly love you guys. So thank you for doing this. It means so much. And thank you for your support. Love you very much. Thank you. And thank you, Mayor.
And that's why what we say makes Mauldin special is our businesses become part of our community. And so we're all one. Well, those two guys have money. The rest of us struggle. So get there. Next item on our agenda is the reading and approval of minutes. You have in your packet the minutes of our meeting July the 2026, as well as our special called city council meeting of August 3rd, 2026. Those are in your packet, have been in for your review over the weekend or however long you've been reading them. I'll ask if there's any adjustments, corrections, clarifications needed to either one of them. If not, I'll submit them as unanimous consent. If there are no objection, we'll accept the minutes as submitted. Next item on the agenda is our first public comment. It is for agenda items. We have two signed up, but they're non-agenda items. So we'll hold those for the next session toward the end, and I'll read the guidelines for public comments there, since we don't have anyone on the agenda items. And now, coming before us for an extended period of time, City Administrator's monthly report.
Thank you, sir. One page this time, so and just one side. So I think we're okay. But I don't have on here, but I want to say if you haven't got your tickets yet for Pippin, do that because it's a fantastic show. They've worked really hard. The Mauldin Theater Company has, and we're excited for their 10th season, which kicks off with Pippin. So check that out. Also, SEDOT has finished repairing and repaving Miller Road between Murray Drive and Corn Road. In addition, performing full depth patch and resurfacing, SEDOT widened the shoulders of the roadway. Though resurfacing may be complete, the contractor will still need to install thermoplast lane markings before total completion. We anticipate that work will be completed in the next month or so. Staff are also busy working on educational and informational materials for the public ahead of the referendum, which will be included in the ballot this November. In addition to a flyer being distributed to city facilities and other points of interest in the city, staff are planning a series of forums, online and offline, social media posts, and a mailer. The purpose and goal of this effort is to inform the electorate of the referendum that will be on their ballot. The city has already launched a webpage dedicated to presenting information about the referendum, including the full project list. To learn more, we ask folks to go to cityofmalden.org/municipal-tax-relief-act. And lastly, tonight, I'd like to recognize and welcome several new businesses that have opened in Mauldin recently. Swig Drinks has opened its first location in South Carolina at 1534 Woodruff Road. Swig Drinks is your go-to soda shop for dirty soda, refreshers, energy drinks, and cookies. And from what I hear, you can't get in. That's what Mr. Deerhog keeps telling me, is that it's so busy that you got to wait in the line for a little bit. So that's exciting to see. So a few other businesses that have opened up is Associates in Wellness over at 2 Owens Lane and Vitality Health Collaborative at 300 Regent Park. We welcome those businesses and we wish them great success. That's my report, sir. Short and sweet tonight.
Want to have any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on. Standing committees, economic planning and development, Mr. Matney.
All's right with the world, Mayor.
Here. Public safety, Ms. King.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to mention that National Night Out went on without a hitch, even with the threat of rain. So thanks to the police department, fire department, PW, everybody takes the full team that made that happen. And as always, it gets bigger and better every year. And it seems like I had something else, but I can't remember. So I guess all is well in public safety, Mr. Mayor. Oh, school started back. Since I don't have any in school anymore. Yes. So as well, I think that went off without a hitch, Chief Miller. So Yes, luckily the bridge opened before school opened over on Butler over 385. So just be reminded that school has started and those speed zones for school are back in place. So hope everybody has a good school year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now all is right with the world.
Well, when I called DOT and told them I wanted that bridge open Friday afternoon, they did it. So all was right with the world. And that was a lie. I did not call DOT. Okay. Public Works, Mr. Crayland.
Not sure if everybody's aware of this, but it's hot outside. Just want to thank, I want to thank everybody in Public Works and the police and the fire and our employees that have to deal with this heat. And make sure you stay safe and cool if you can. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Finance and Policy, Mr. Reynolds.
Nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Recreation, Mr. Allgood.
Thank you, Mayor. We have an agenda item tonight from Recreation. But during our Recreation Committee meeting, we did talk about activity at the Senior Center and the Sports Center. There was 2 surveys that were done. And I think one of the most interesting things that came out of the survey with regarding the Senior Center is how many folks from outside the city utilize it. So if you didn't have a chance to look at that, I think the important thing is to understand is that that Senior Center is a tremendous asset, not just for the city of Mauldin, but for many neighboring cities and, of course, throughout Greenwood County as well. So that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Sure. Business Development, Mr. Steenbeck.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
Sir. Unfinished business ordinances on second reading, we have none. New business ordinances on first reading, none. Standing committee items, Economic Planning and Development, Mr. Matney.
Thank you, Mayor. Move that we approve Melinda Hoffman with her piece gathering be chosen for the 2026-2027 Public Art Trail in an amount not to exceed the budgeted $15,000, which covers artist fees, travels, material, installation, and documentation.
I have a motion from Mr. Matney. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second from Ms. King and heard somewhere on the right. Your pick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve Miss Melinda Hoffman as the chosen artist for the 2027 Public Art Trail piece, a gathering not to exceed, it was 15,000, right?
Correct.
Not to exceed $15,000. Say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous. Thank you, sir. Next item before us comes from the Recreation Committee, Mr. Allgood.
I'm sorry, Mayor. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we, excuse me, that we approve, make we approve for staff to complete the application for the SCPRT Undiscovered Grant.
Motion, Mr. Allgood. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Reynolds. Any discussion? Mr. Allgood.
You've obviously got a chance to look at it in your packet. What this could do is help improve our sewer system as it relates to recreational opportunities over at Sunset Park. Should we get it? But this is obviously a very competitive grant that we should continue to look at. So, thank you.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve staff to submit the South Carolina Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Undiscovered Grant, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous.
Yes.
My bad.
Back to public comment for non-agenda items. So let me get that up here. Addressing the council in our regular meeting. Any person wishing to address the council must fill out the speaker's log, which you have done, should indicate your name, address, and the agenda item or subject matter which the person wishes to speak. No one will be allowed to sign the speaker's log after the call to order. Speakers will be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters and matters under litigation. Speakers will direct all comments to the presiding officer, as this is an opportunity for council to hear comments from the public, and it is not a question and answer session. Prior to council's consideration of any item on the agenda for that night, skip that part. Speaker's time will be limited to not to exceed 5 minutes per person, and all speakers combined will not exceed 30 minutes. Agenda items. Proper decorum must be observed by members of council, by speakers, and by the audience. The presiding officer shall keep control of the meeting and when require the speakers and the audience to refrain from abusive and profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, applause, protest, or other conduct that disrupts or interferes with the orderly conduct of the business of the meeting. Personal attacks on council members, city staff, or members of the public are not allowed. It is inappropriate to use a public hearing or the public comment period for the purposes of making political speeches, including threats of political action. Engaging in such conduct and failing to cease with such conduct on the request of the mayor will be grounds for ending a speaker's time at the podium or for removal of any disruptive person from the meeting room at the direction of the presiding officer. That's all the official side of it. The unofficial side of it say, we are a community. It don't mean we agree on everything everybody says, even among ourselves, but we do respect each other's opinions and their right to say it. So we're community. Let's keep it all together. Let's enjoy hearing from each other and hearing what each one has to say. First person that has signed up is Mr. Jason Plica. Come up, be sure the thing's on green and state your name and your address.
My name is Jason Plikas. My address is 106 Saddlebrook Lane. I'm over on the west side near Bridgeway Station. I'm here to speak tonight on the flock surveillance system. There's 3 points I want to make, and those are trust, transparency, and accountability. The public trust in this surveillance system has been broken and needs to be repaired if we're going to continue using it. Officer Hammond was the 5th officer in this state to be fired this year for abusing the flock system. So what I'd like to know is what this council and specifically the Public Safety Committee is going to do to ensure that there's not a 6th incident or something else happens. From a transparency standpoint, this officer was able to abuse the system for several months undetected. From the general public, I'm just wondering how that was able to happen and what's going to be done to ensure that that doesn't happen again. I watch the news and I see what happened, but I don't have any information on what have you got, what has everybody done in the police department and the city council to ensure that this doesn't happen again. I really want to know who was responsible for the audits and why they weren't performed. Basically, what's going to happen to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Other questions I have was, I've been following this sort of since the beginning. These cameras were put in around July of 2024 for a 2-year time period, and I believe that's been renewed unless somebody tells me otherwise. So I'm curious, do we have another 2-year plan? But really what I'm here for is I want some transparency. I want some information put on the website so that, the general public sees these cameras while they're driving around and they go, well, who's watching these? What's the process for auditing these? That kind of thing. So I think there needs to be something on the city website that shows, okay, we've got these cameras. Here's the process for auditing them. Once a month, somebody goes in there and checks all this stuff. Just basically some insurances to the public that this isn't going to happen again. Luckily this was just basic, stalking or whatever, but this could have been something worse that happened and, we'd have a big mess to clean up. So basically all that to say, with whatever time I've got left, the underlying problem I see with Flock is that we're giving a bunch of data to this private company and they're taking data from everybody else and sharing it. So while we within the department, within the city can say, okay, our people are good. They're not going to do anything bad with the data. We can't say that somebody in Greer, Anderson, or somewhere across the country doesn't abuse that system. So I just want to make sure that there's safeguards for the general public if we're going to continue using this system. Thank you.
Sir. Next, Neil Pate. State your name and your address into the mic.
Yeah, I'm Neil Pate. I live at 307 Trimley Way. It's in the new Layton Hall Townhomes right here behind the Kellett's gas station, where we've all probably eaten lunch or breakfast a time or two since we've been in Mauldin. So really coming for some help. There, in our neighborhood, there is a dog park that a lot of our residents use that has access to water for the dogs and also a power outlet should people use power. But this has also created the start of a homeless encampment about 50 to 100 yards behind our dog park. Now, the dilemma we run into as homeowners is it's not part of our HOA. It is actually on land that is owned by the city of Mauldin that I've looked up on the Greenville County GIS system, and I have some concerns. It's at least 2, maybe 3 tents that have been set up there, and we thought it was maybe something temporary, but it's been there for months, and we really don't know where to go with it. We can't say it's trespassing because it's not our property. The property belongs to the city. Now, if we get them coming onto our property, then we can call the police for trespassing. So we really need help with this. And the concern is, number one, sanitation. Where's the waste going if they're back there? Where's their trash going? Where's their human waste going? I'm worried about that. I'm worried about potential confrontations that might take place between the residents in our growing neighborhood and the people in that encampment back there. Now, I'm not making any assumptions about their character or their demeanor or anything about the folks that are back there, because homelessness it's a very complex issue, and these are real people and they're real circumstances. But I think the city, we're looking for help because we don't know what to do. And the city should be aware there is potential for a homeless encampment to develop back there based on, the availability of there's power there, there's water there. Now, as a community, the homeowners association, they've actually had to put a lock. We've put a combination lock on our water source. It's a pump handle. We've also put a lock on our power outlet so that the folks that are in that encampment can't charge their phones or charge up or use whatever they're using back there. But I feel like it's an issue that can easily be handled now when it's 2 or 3 tents for people back there versus if nothing's done and it grows to 10, 15, 20. So really that's, I would just like the city to take a look at it, see what's going on. Send somebody over there, check it out, look for, is there any kind of, are there safety violations, sanitation violations, any park violations? If you're not familiar with our community, the Swamp Rabbit Trail runs right along the railroad tracks, right up to kind of beyond the dog park. And there are plans to eventually cut that through. There's even a little path you can go through there now, but that's the area where the homeless encampment has been set up. I have a picture of the 110. I could get close enough if y'all would like to see that. I also have a map that kind of shows where it's approximate where the tent location is, as well as the dog park and our neighborhood. If y'all would like to review that before the next session, that's kind of up to y'all. But really, just standing before you, very appreciative of the opportunity to come up here and speak, and just looking for some help, because we don't really know what to do, and we think we need to be good neighbors as a community and as a city to address this before it gets out of hand and it becomes more complicated to deal with.
Thanks, sir. If you'll give that to our city administrator, then
Okay.
we'll follow up with public safety and we'll where it goes from there.
Anyway, thank y'all again. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming. Comments. Next item is council concerns. Any members have it? Next item on the agenda is call for an executive session. Appears to be economic development related matters. So, Matt,
Thank you, Mayor. Move we enter executive session and consider items allowed under 30-4-70A2, Mauldin Stadium at Bridgeway Station, City Center Village redevelopment, and Project Trailblazer.
motion for exec session. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Back. Any discussion? Hear none, all those in favor of exec session, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hear none, we will leave chamber to executive session upstairs at 7:50. We'll be heading upstairs.
related.
We will reconvene at approximately 9:40 PM from executive session. Everyone is reconvened with the exception of Councilman Reynolds, who had to leave for personal matter. Mr. Matty, would you like to report out?
Thank you, Mayor. Coming out of executive session, 9:36 PM. No decisions were made, no votes were taken.
All right, no votes, no decisions. Any action on items discussed in executive session? Matty.
Thank you, Mayor. Move that we allocate $150,000 from the general fund restricted fund balance for the purpose of pre-development activities at City Center.
All right, I have a motion from Mr. Matney to allocate $150,000, whatever he said.
General.
Second.
I have a second from Ms. King. Thank you. Late. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries 6-0. Any other item? Mr. Matney.
Thank you, Mayor. Move that we authorize the city administrator and the mayor to issue a letter of intent to purchase 202 North Main under the terms discussed in executive session.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Steenbeck. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to authorize the city administrator for a letter of intent, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries 6-0. Anything else? What do I hear on adjournment?
So moved.
So move. All right.
Third.
We are adjourned. Whatever it is. 9:38.